It was supposed to be a simple road trip. Kyle, Mark, and Jenna had been planning their weekend getaway for months. A cabin in the woods, far from the noise of the city. The GPS showed a long route, but Kyle found a shortcut on an old map. "Saves us an hour," he said, grinning. "Trust me." They turned onto the forgotten road. The asphalt cracked beneath the tires, and dense trees loomed overhead, swallowing the sunlight. There were no road signs, no mile markers, just an endless stretch of road curling through the thick forest. As they drove deeper, the radio turned to static, and their cell service vanished. "This place gives me the creeps," Jenna muttered, hugging herself. Mark smirked. "Relax. It's just an old road." Then they saw the first car. A rusted sedan sat abandoned on the side, its windows shattered. Vines crept through the doors, nature reclaiming the metal husk. A mile later, another car, an old pickup, doors flung open, empty. Then another and another. "What the hell?" Kyle whispered. The shortcut had become a graveyard of forgotten vehicles. Jenna gripped Kyle's arm. "Turn around. Now." Kyle swallowed hard, but nodded, easing the car into a U-turn. Then the engine sputtered and died. Silence pressed against them, a suffocating quiet. Jenna tried her phone. Nothing. Mark clicked the ignition. Nothing. Then, from the trees, came the whispering. It wasn't the wind. It wasn't the rustling of leaves. It was voices. Low, murmuring voices. Many of them. And they were getting closer. Kyle gritted his teeth and twisted the key in the ignition again. Still nothing. "Try again," Mark urged, his voice low but sharp. "It's dead," Kyle hissed back, pounding the steering wheel. Jenna's breathing was shallow, her wide eyes darting between the trees. The whispering grew louder, still unintelligible, but now accompanied by the soft crunching of leaves. Footsteps, dozens of them. Kyle tried the door handle. It wouldn't budge. Jenna tugged at hers, locked. Mark scrambled for the back doors. "What the hell? They're stuck," he said, panic creeping into his voice. The whispering became a chorus, closer, surrounding them. Then something scraped against the window. Jenna let out a strangled gasp as a pale, emaciated hand trailed along the glass, leaving a streak of grime. The fingers were too long, the nails blackened and cracked. Kyle recoiled, his heart hammering in his chest. A face appeared next, hollow eyes, a mouth stretched too wide, lips dry and split. It stared at them, head tilting unnaturally as if studying them. Then it grinned. Jenna screamed as more hands appeared, more faces pressing against the windows. Some were whispering, others just watching. The car trembled as they began to claw at it. Kyle's mind raced. They had to get out. Mark reached for his pocket knife and started stabbing at the lock mechanism. Come on, come on!" A sickening crack sounded as one of the windows buckled, spiderweb fractures forming across the glass. Then, shatter. A bony arm shot inside, clawing at Kyle's jacket. He twisted away, barely avoiding its grasp. "Run!" he shouted, kicking the door open with all his strength. It flung outward, knocking one of the figures back. Jenna was already moving, yanking Mark by the arm as they bolted into the woods. Branches whipped at their faces as they stumbled through the underbrush, lungs burning, feet pounding against damp earth. Behind them, the whispering shifted to something else. Laughter. It echoed unnaturally through the trees, following them, as if the woods themselves were mocking their escape. Then, up ahead, a cabin, small, old, barely standing. But it was something. Inside, Kyle gasped, shoving the door open. They tumbled inside and slammed the door shut just as the figures emerged from the darkness. Jenna backed away, shaking. What are they? Kyle's eyes darted around the cabin. The walls were lined with dusty shelves, old books, and scattered relics. A hunting rifle rested above the fireplace. Mark grabbed it immediately, checking for ammo. The whispering returned, circling the cabin. Then something outside scratched at the wood. Mark's breath hitched. They're not going away, are they? Kyle shook his head. No. Then, a single knock on the door, and a voice, clear and sharp, unlike the whispers. Let us in. Kyle held his breath. The voice outside was calm, patient. We know you're in there. Open the door. Jenna shook her head violently, pressing herself against the far wall. Mark raised the rifle, hands trembling. If they get in, we're done. The whispering continued, circling the cabin like a ghostly chant. Then, a creak from above. Kyle's blood ran cold. Someone or something was on the roof. They're surrounding us, Jenna whispered. What do we do? A sudden thud against the door made them all jump. The handle rattled. The wood groaned as if something heavy leaned against it. Kyle's eyes darted around the cabin. His gaze landed on a trap door in the floor, partially covered by an old rug. There, he whispered, a way out. Mark yanked the rug away, revealing a dark tunnel leading beneath the cabin. No other choice. Jenna let out a small, strangled sob. We were never meant to leave. A voice echoed from the darkness. You belong here now. Cold fingers wrapped around Kyle's wrist. The whispering returned. The forgotten ones had claimed them. One by one, they slipped inside, pulling the trapdoor shut just as the cabin door splintered open. Darkness swallowed them. They crawled through the damp tunnel, the air thick with decay. Ahead, a faint light glowed. Kyle's stomach clenched as they reached the end of the tunnel and stepped into a cavern lined with skeletons. Hundreds of them slumped against the walls. Their hollow eye sockets seemed to watch them,